So basically, I manage the research woodland for Wytham Woods. It's 1,000 acres, and I manage it for the University of Oxford. And it's the most researched area of woodland in the whole of the world. And we're really famous for our kind of long-term data set. So the bird research started in 1947, small mammals in 1948, and with particular kind of links to what we're talking about today, the climate change work started in 1992. So we've got a kind of variety of kind of met stations dotted around the site, and that's linked into kind of other biological factors. In terms of what we have learned about climate change is with us already. And so people always kind of see it's a future thing. So in terms of egg laying dates in the woods, the birds now nest approximately 2 weeks earlier than they did in the 1950s, purely due to warmer springs. In terms of the badger populations went absolutely loopy from about 1970s onward, and that's because we had nice wet, dry springs, nice wet autumns, lots of earthworms and slugs around, really mild winters, so a lot more cubs and a lot more badgers surviving the winters. And then over the last probably 5 to 7 years, we've ended up with really dry springs. Badgers can't feed because they can't find any food sources in the dry soils, and their cubs have started dying. So the badger populations are actually diminishing. So that's just kind of 2 ways that kind of climate change has affected the Wytham ecosystem. But I mean, I think the key to it is actually kind of getting, it's local, and local. People think that the world of ecology is a tropical rainforest. There's nothing better than a British woodland in the spring. You know, it's the 7th wonder of the world. You know, go out there and learn about birdsong, learn about, you know, whether primroses are flowering this year before daffodils or vice versa. There's a huge amount of things we can do in our locality, and we often overlook them. And one of the things we're trying to do, which does really work, is planting trees. If you can get someone just to get their hands dirty in a local woodland, plant a tree, go back and see that tree's growing, you can link that into kind of carbon sequestration. You can see how a tree's struggling during a drought or climate change. You can see how the tree's struggling if you get a disease in. It all becomes a lot more local when your little baby tree is struggling in a summer drought. But if you go to our website, there's a whole series of 4-minute videos called Laboratory with Leaves. And so they give you a nice kind of friendly user, kind of beginner user's guide to kind of research in the woods. Enthusiasm. So I got into ecology because my biology teacher always used to get us excited by bringing specimens into the classroom, and then just going way off curriculum, but just kind of describing kind of how kind of the stomach of a catfish worked. I think it's all a matter of just kind of getting out into your local farm, your local pond, your local woodland, and just seeing how it functions. And so kind of whenever we get people up here, yeah, we let them be quirky and do their thing. And to us, you know, getting your hands into some kind of sheep poo looking for some dung beetles is as normal as everyone else going to the supermarket. So that's the world of Wytham we live in. And it's just it's that kind of enthusiasm and passion, which kind of we just have to kind of keep going. If we can get more of those sort of people into research, we're fine. The thing that which drives all my researchers and that drives me every day is that people are fascinated in the minutiae of life, whether it's a beetle or a butterfly, a deer population. And I think as teachers and as ecologists, if we can just kind of fan the flames of that enthusiasm, then we've done our job. But I think the seeds are there. I think people have connected a bit more to their localities, and we just have to keep that pushing forward.